today's revision of the marking scheme of Kcse Biology, Paper 1, 2021. And we'll start with our first question. Name the taxonomic grouping that contains individuals with the most similarities, and that is the species. The species is the one which contains individuals with the most similarities, and this species is the smallest unit of taxonomy, whose members are able to freely interbreed and produce fertile offsprings. Number 2, name characteristic of living organisms shown by each of the following: budding in yeast, and that is a reproduction, specifically asexual reproduction. And budding, it is just an outgrowth of the yeast or the cell, leading to production of more cells, and that is a asexual reproduction. Then enlargement of the eye pupil in dim light, that is irritability or sensitivity, because this is due to response to stimulus, which is light. Next we have explain why there is no grass in most dense forests. And in dense forests they form canopies, or what you can say, there is a shade which prevents light from reaching grass, and grass die due to failure for them to photosynthesize, because they cannot be able to get the light, and light is important for photosynthesis. It must be there. Question 4, state one structural difference between a cell wall and a cell membrane, and the key word there is a structure. About structure, cell wall is a fully permeable, but the cell membrane is a semi-permeable. And that means when the cell wall is fully permeable, it has a larger pores, while the cell membrane has smaller pores. Cell wall is mainly made up of cellulose, while cell membrane, it has a double protein layer sandwiched or in between a lipid layer. Then the third difference, cell wall is rigid, or in short tougher, and hence cannot burst, while the cell membrane is weak and bursts. And in this question, because they've said 1, you just stick to 1. Question 5, the diagram below shows an organism in a certain kingdom, and that organism is a mushroom. Name the kingdom to which the organism belongs, and that is a kingdom fungi. And when writing taxonomic units, for example the kingdom, it must start with a capital letter. State the mode of nutrition for the organism, and that is specifically saprophytism or saprophytic, because they feed on dead decaying matter or organic matter. But C, Roman 1, name the part labeled E, and that is the hypha. That is the hypha. We say hypha is the basic functional unit of members of kingdom fungi, and we can accept also mycelium and rhizoids. State 2 functions of the part labeled E, that is the hypha, and the first role, secretes digestive enzymes which help in external digestion. Then also it anchors the organism firmly onto the substrate. Apart from that, it absorbs digested food materials, and also it can absorb water and mineral ions. Question 6, say the importance of a well-developed blood capillary network in the alveoli, and this increases the surface area for efficient exchange or efficient transport of respiratory gases, and that is the oxygen and carbon dioxide. Name the genetic disorder in humans that is characterized by inability of blood to clot, that is hemophilia. Question 8. Sketch a graph on the axis below showing how temperature affects the rate of diffusion. And we have our y-axis and the x-axis, and I think there was an error. Because the temperature was supposed to be on the x-axis here and rate of diffusion on the y-axis, and the factors affecting diffusion, for example, temperature. When temperature increases, it increases the rate of diffusion, or rate of diffusion increases with an increase in temperature. As you can see here, rate of diffusion is increasing with the increase in temperature. Then account for the shape of the sketch made. The rate of diffusion increases with the increase in temperature, and an increase in temperature increases kinetic energy of the diffusing molecules, hence increasing the rate of diffusion. Question 9a. Explain why plants have a lower respiratory rates compared to animals. This is because plants are less active than animals and hence require lower amount of energy than animals. Part B. State 2 situations in plants when the rate of respiration rises more than normal. That is during germination, and that is to generate energy required for the process of germination. Then during rapid growth or cell division, which occurs at the tips of the shoots and roots. Then also during active uptake of substances through the roots. Question 10. Explain why most plants growing in waterlogged areas die before attaining maturity. Waterlogging submerges the plant root system, and this cuts off supply of oxygen to the roots or soil surrounding the roots. Aerobic respiration, or basically respiration in the roots, is tampered with, and thus active uptake of materials is affected, leading to the death of the affected plant. Question 11. We have a plan of a pentadactyl limb. Name the bones K and L. And K is the ulna and L is the radius. We say K is the ulna because it is in line with the smallest finger. In this case, it is always in line with the smallest finger. Then L is the radius. It is in line with the thumb. As you can see, it is in line with the thumb. Then with reference to germination, explain the meaning of the term imbibition, and that is the absorption of water by seed through the micropyle. Part B. Why the dry mass of endosperm decreases while that of embryo increases. And to answer that question, you need to understand what is an endosperm and what is an embryo and how they are formed. And during germination, stored food in the endosperm is broken down or oxidized to provide nutrients for the growing embryo. Question 13. State 2 characteristic features used to classify members of class Coniferales. And this is a class Coniferales, that are under subdivision Gymnospermae, and the Coniferales, they have cones, or they possess cones. Apart from that, they have naked seeds, or seeds are not enclosed in fruits. Then they show xerophytic characteristics like needle-like leaves, thick waxy cuticle, sunken stomata. Next question. The graph below represents a growth curve in a certain phylum. Name the type of growth curve, and that is intermittent growth curve. The spelling should be correct. Name the phylum where the members show the type of growth curve illustrated, and that is arthropoda. A must be capital and the spelling must be correct. Most students tend to write anthropoda with an N, and that is wrong. Question 15. State 2 limitations of using fossil records in retracing evolutionary history of living organisms. Number 1, we have missing links due to complete decomposition of some organisms, or some parts decomposing, then distortion or destruction of parts during sedimentation, then destruction of fossils by geological activities, for example earthquakes, faulting, can have volcanicity, mass movement. Part B, describe cell biology as an evidence of organic evolution, and this says that presence of similar cell organelles, for example the ribosomes, mitochondria, lysosomes, similar biological chemicals, e.g. adenosine triphosphate, deoxyribonucleic acid proteins, similar blood pigmentation in tissues of some groups of animals show that they have a common phylogenetic origin or a common embryonic origin. Next, the illustration below shows a summary of the main phases of human menstrual cycle. Name the process that takes place around the 14th day, and 14th day it is ovulation, because the Graafian follicles which are mature are able to burst to release the ovum, and the process is called ovulation. Name 2 hormones produced in the follicular phase. We have this follicular phase, and we have follicle stimulating hormone, estrogen, and the luteinizing hormone. And because it is a name, you cannot give it initials such as FSH, it is wrong. LH, it is wrong. It must be full. Under which 2 conditions will the cycle be interrupted? Number 1, we have sickness. Number 2, change in weather or the environment. Then we can have pregnancy or implantation or conception. Then emotional instability, for example anger, stress, anxiety. Question 17. State 2 reasons why blood reaching the glomerulus is always under high pressure. And number 1, renal artery branches directly from dorsal aorta, whose blood is under pressure, which is high. Number 2, afferent arteriole supplying blood is broader than efferent taking out blood. Question 18. During a clinical lab test, some sugar was detected in an individual sample of urine. Name the hormone that was deficient in the patient, and that is insulin. The gland that produces the hormone above, and that is a pancreas, and the pancreas is without an E at the end. The disease individual was likely to be suffering from, and that is a diabetes mellitus. And we are saying the hormone responsible is insulin because insulin is the one responsible in helping reduce level of sugar in blood in case the blood sugar levels are above normal, and in case the gland that produces the hormone does not produce it or produces it in insufficient amounts, it means there will be no regulation of blood when it is above normal. Question 19. The graph below illustrates the effect of pH on certain protein digesting enzymes S and T. You can look at the rate of substance breakdown, pH of 2 and pH of 10. Name the enzyme S. S is a pepsin, and also can accept renin, and renin is a double N. This renin with single N, it is a hormone which serves a different purpose. Then T is a trypsin, T is a trypsin. It is trypsin because trypsin works best in alkaline condition, and S is a pepsin simply because it works best in pH of 2, because you can see the rate of substance breakdown is highest at pH of 2, and on the contrary, rate of substance breakdown is highest at pH of 10. Yeah. Part B, Roman 1, name the part of the alimentary canal where enzyme T is likely to be found. That is trypsin, and that is the duodenum. And the reason in the duodenum, the medium is alkaline or basic and favors the optimal working of enzyme trypsin or enzyme T. Next, explain the biological significance of completing a dose of antibiotics. To completely kill the pathogens, since failure to take full dose accords the pathogens an opportunity to develop resistance to the drug, and the pathogen mutates over time, giving rise to new strains, which finally make the drug to become ineffective. That is the reason. Question 21. State 2 reasons why females with Turner syndromes are infertile. Number 1, they lack ovaries, they have small uterus, they have less number of chromosomes. Question 22. Define the term field of view as used in microscopy, and it is a circular area seen when focusing through the eyepiece of a microscope. Part B, state 2 functions of the body tube of a light microscope. And the first one holds the revolving nosepiece in place and holds the eyepiece lens in place. Part C, give a reason why it is not advisable to use water in cleaning a microscope, and this is to avoid rusting and also avoids interference with the visibility of the lens. Question 23. Explain the role of blood capillaries in thermoregulation. And first one, they constrict during cold or low temperatures to conserve heat. Then during hot temperatures, they dilate to facilitate heat loss. Question 24. The illustration below shows the effect of hormones on insect growth and development. You can see the diagram on the hormones. Name the hormone K. The hormone K is hormone juvenile. Gland L that produces acetylation hormone, that is a prothoracic glands. So the role of acetylation hormone in the growth and development of insects. It causes metamorphosis or causes the larval stage for an insect to change to pupa, then into adult. Next question. Part C, Roman 1, name process M. Process M here, that is a complete metamorphosis, because you can see we have egg, larva, pupa, and adult. That is a complete metamorphosis. Roman 2, account for rapid increase in size of organisms immediately after molting. And you can say during molting, the exoskeleton is shed, and thus allows the soft, permeable larva to take in air and water, leading to rapid growth, and which in turn results to increase in size of organism. Question 25. Complete the table below on adaptations and functioning of some structures in a dicot stem. Cambium, and the cambium, the cells have a dense cytoplasm to enable rapid mitotic division or give rise to secondary growth. Remember, the role of the cambium is giving rise to secondary growth or enable secondary growth, and that is a secondary growth means a widening of the girth or the stem, and the cambium contains rapidly dividing cells, and these cells have dense cytoplasm to enable rapid mitotic division. Then parenchyma, they have thin walls for faster passage of materials. They also have large vacuole or irregular shape for storage and providing space for packing. But B, explain why a sisal plant leaf has a thick and shiny cuticle, and the thick cuticle enables it to conserve water, thus reducing water loss, and the shiny surface is able to reflect light, thus minimizing evaporation by radiation. Question 26. Explain why an individual with blood group AB can only donate blood to an individual with the same blood group. Remember, an individual with blood group AB contains both antigens A and B and lacks antibodies. Let's explain. The individual's blood has both antigen A and B, which will agglutinate with the antibodies A and B found in individuals with blood group A, B, and O. Question 27. The diagram below illustrates a set of biological processes in a green plant. You can see a green plant, polysaccharide, glucose, compound Q, part A. Name process N, and process N is a photosynthesis. Polysaccharide P is starch, because the green plants are able to carry out photosynthesis and produce a starch, which is a polysaccharide. State conditions necessary for formation of compound Q, and compound Q is as a result of anaerobic respiration, and that is respiratory enzymes must be present and little oxygen must be present in order for anaerobic respiration to occur. State two environmental condition necessary for process N to take place. Process N is a photosynthesis, and the environmental condition necessary must have optimum temperature, and at optimum the enzymes work best. Then we have light, water, and carbon dioxide, which are necessary for the process N, which is a photosynthesis. Thank you guys, and I hope you like, you share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.